quite a while now. The Texas weather. I think I need to move. But if you have any questions, please stop me while I'm talking. I'm going to go through this kind of at a high-level overview because we have a lot to cover. I'm going to first start out with what we call in-contact ACD. And as I go through this, I will play multiple roles as far as being an agent, being a supervisor, showing you what a supervisor would look at when an agent is logged into the platform and what type of data statistics. And then we'll roll into some of the reporting, some of the scripting for the IVR, and look at some of the personal connection features that are there. I can't really demo an outbound campaign, but I can show you what we have to offer and then jump into the workforce optimization. Any questions before we get started? No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I have to switch to my headset. So what can you see my screen? Is it frozen or you guys?
No, we haven't.
Okay, no. So as I'm logged in, the first thing that I come into is, so maybe I should log out because I logged in at a time, but when I come into the in-contact ACD, I'm logged in as an agent and a supervisor. If I was just an agent, you would only see the agent here, and then here is the supervisor. So you put in your information that's provided. We do offer single sign-on, so if you want to use your network ID, that type of connection, you're able to do that. But once you log into the application, it brings you into your primary dashboard. And this dashboard can be you can create, customize, and manage your contact center. Everything is based on permission. So depending on your permissions, your levels, what's been granted is what you will see. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I thought I had a question in the background. So here in the dashboard, just to show you how easy they are to create, I'm going to just go in and do an edit. You have widgets that are listed here to the top. You have some that are real-time and some that are historical. And it's more of just a drag and drop type thing. Once you drop it in, you're able to go in and customize. You're choosing whether you want to see it by certain campaigns, skills, what type of media, if you're doing chat, email, fax, phone, voicemail, those type of items, and then properties. If I wanted to customize my view, I can actually do that, LCTS. I can make it by location. I can make it by teams. I can do whatever I want to do. Now, this, again, is based on your login ID and what you want to see. I can share this dashboard with other users if I want, or I can not share it. And then once I hit save, it just uploads the information as I've said. So it's a very easy, user-friendly type environment as far as dashboards and setting it up. You can also create this to display on TV screens or monitors if you have any within your call center. And again, you can have as many of these as you need and like. You can duplicate service level requirements, agent states, those type of things. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
No questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the first thing I want to do is go in and show you what we call our max agent. So now we'll jump into an agent and then we'll go back to supervisor. Well, let me go back. I've pulled down a couple of dashboards here that allow you to view what's going on in your contact center. And these few that I've displayed are more of what I find to be important as far as being in a contact center before, myself, serving in a role as a supervisor, monitoring agents, looking at the contact list. And this more seeing the skills that are coming through, the calls the agents are taking in campaign. I can monitor these skills as long as there's someone on them, just by double clicking. I can see what's in queue, how it's routed, active, those type of items. Down, I can also view my agents logged in, if they're on a call, how long they've been on a call, an inbound call, going in and double clicking on it, seeing how long they've been available state. I can actually go in and look at today, yesterday, the last 7 days, and look at specific date range. And this is more looking at the agent summary, seeing how long they've been available, inbound, outbound, unavailable, those type of items. I can monitor, meaning if I wanted to go in and listen to that call lively as far as the audio, I can put in a phone number, whether it be my cell phone number, a desk number, and that means as a supervisor, manager, whatever role I'm in, I can monitor. The record button is there if you're not recording 100%. More than likely, you'll record 100%, so that can be disabled, but that is there. If you're listening to a call and all of a sudden you want to record it, then you're able to do that. And then you have force log out, meaning if I, as an agent, left for the day, then I can force log you out of the ACD. Any questions about anything you're seeing here? No questions? And then you have the skill summary, and this is all the skills. So you can pull down as many skills as you have, whether it's chat, email, outbound, and if you notice we have a mixture, it's going to give you like a quick overview of reporting. We'll look at reporting where you can get more detail, but this is just a quick glance of some of that agent performance and availability and incoming calls. And then you have the agent performance here as long as outbound. So if you want a separate outbound queue, you can create that also. So now next I'm going to go into launching the agent. And when I launch the agent, what happens is this is called My Agent Experience for short. We call it MAX. It's a multi-channel contact handling application for inbound, outbound contact centers, agents. You're able to do, as I stated, chat, email, phone, all of those capabilities are activated when you log into the phone. I can set a phone number, meaning no matter where I am, if I'm sitting at home, I can set it from my home phone, my cell phone, any number that I have, and make that my call path. Station ID means it's station ID that's in the office, that's on your desk if you have a hard phone, or integrated soft phone, and that's more if you're using Google and using WebRTC. So what I'm going to do is set a phone number, and I'm going to put in my cell phone number and hit continue. And this is going to connect my agent, which makes it come up with available state. So what you see now here are available codes, or codes that are mapped within the application. You can map these as needed, as far as you see fit. Automatically, I go into unavailable. So I'm going to go into available state. Down at the bottom, you see the different queues that I'm part of. So whether it's phone, this is outbound, chat, or email. So if there was anything holding in those, I would see it. Agent report. At their fingertips, they have performance reports where they can come in and see their performance, productivity, and then their assigned skills and any calls that are handling there in those skills. Schedule. We integrate with our WFN schedule, so if you were on workforce management, they would see the schedule display as far as what time they were supposed to work, go to lunch, go to break, those type of things. My schedule, and we'll talk about that. If I committed to something, I can see things that I've scheduled within here, and I want to go back and look at it. And then messages is your main profile here, showing anything that's call history as I start making calls, anything I've committed to, and then any personal queue items that I have parked that I need to go back to later. So what I'm going to do now is do a demonstration of an inbound phone call. I've kind of customized this based on certain items. I went to your website and pulled a few things off just to kind of give you an idea of what the system is capable of. It may not be exactly what you want to do, but just give you an idea of what the system can do.
Thank you for calling Louisiana Community Technical College. Please enter your student ID followed by the pound sign. Press 1 for student success. Press 2 for education services. Press 3 for finance and administration.
So now that I've pressed the prompt,
I have a question. When the call first came through, it asked the student to put in their student ID number. What if they don't know it?
So we can work with you on that, right? On how you want to prompt that. If they don't know it, then you can put 2 options. If you know your student ID, press 1. If not, press 2. That type of thing. So that was just a sample of one way you can do it. We popped the student ID on the screen that came into the platform. That popped in the screen. I can redo it if you did not see it, but it pops up so the agent can see it on the window itself or what ID they put in if they know it. Once the call comes in, then now you have what we call our interaction window for the agent. It makes the active piece where they can, if they need to put the call on hold. Masking is offered through our routing and ACD. If you were taking information, what we call PCI compliance, meaning credit card or personal information, social security number information, that type of information where you can mask it, meaning we do not record it and we do not capture it. So that stops it. The record button, again, is available if you're not recording 100%. I can transfer and conference the call if needed based on the team that I'm on. I can actually see my team members that are listed there. I can see if they're available or unavailable, so I'm not blindly transferring the call to them. I can go look under skills, and based on that skill, I can see if there's a wait. So maybe the call came in to the wrong group, and you transfer it out to another group. And based on that skill, I can transfer, and I can let the student know I'm transferring you over to the administration department. There is no wait, or there is, a wait. There's two people in front of you. So you can see that ahead of time before you send it to them, whether they're sitting in line or not. Any questions about anything you're seeing here?
No.
Nope.
Can you, if you're transferring a call, can you call that person first and then,
Fill them in on
right,
Yeah, fill them
before
in.
transferring?
Go.
Yeah,
So
so
you're,
a warm
yeah.
transfer.
Cold or warm?
you can do a warm transfer where you transfer the button, dial it, and then say, I'm about to transfer so-and-so to you. This is what they want. Then you click the transfer button a second time, and it extends that call.
Okay.
Correct.
Cool.
Sorry, Tracy, just trying to give you a little breathing break there.
Oh, no, thank you for the help. So the next thing I want to show you is commit. So say a student called in, they didn't have all the information they needed, they need to go look it up, call you back, or they want you to call them back because you're looking up something. You can come in and commit, type in the student information. The phone number they called in will automatically default, but if they have a different number, you can type that number in. You can schedule that for me, meaning you as the call taker, or the skill, meaning where they called into, I'm going to schedule it for the skill so that the time period they're supposed to get a call back, anybody that's available that's part of that skill, that call will initiate and go out and be on that desktop. So again, it can be to me or to the skill to make sure that the call is placed and someone is on the other end. Because I may have went home for the day when I committed to calling them back. I can set the date, the time, and make notes within it, and then hit save. And once I save that, then it will show as a commit on the front screen as far as call Tracy Dialback in 1 hour. Any questions about what you're seeing here? I can set up disposition if needed. So if I want to know what type of call that came in, or if there's like, I'm disposition saying, it was a general question. You can come up with different ones. I only have 3 in the example, a follow-up required. I can disposition this. This is available on reporting also. So if I say general question, I can make a note, whatever that may be, hit save. Once the call ends, I now go back into available state. It shows the call history and it shows the call. Now, one thing I want to show you is that was brought up that you guys was looking at integration into CRM. Now, the example I'm going to show you is more of in Salesforce, but we integrate into any type of CRM that you have as long as we can connect through the API. That particular call that I just made shows here we're integrated into Salesforce. It actually shows the call coming in, how long I was on the call, inbound. It populates certain data. So depending on the data that you want to populate within your CRM, we're able to pop that data into that. And this example is more of Salesforce. Any questions about that?
So when a student calls in, says that student called in yesterday and then they called in again today, that would automatically, is that an option to pop up to see the past?
Yes, it'll recognize the number and it will pop it up. So are you saying in your CRM or where?
Wherever. I just that they would link somewhere.
Yes.
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 So however you track your students, whether it be student ID or by phone number or both, then as that student is calling in, we're going to map that to that particular area within your CRM, pop that to the agent screen so that they can answer that and have that information in front of them simultaneously.
Correct. So they'll know that Tracy called in yesterday at this time. Kind of like it's gonna. This example is Salesforce again, but it's gonna populate the time.
Does
and
it
that
say what
information,
they
so
called
depending on
for?
your CRM. If there's a note made, so if there's note sections or whatever, or you disposition it, then yes, it will. It'll populate the data that you determine that you need to populate. Yeah.
Okay.
And I heard you mention API earlier. How is there a way for us to get student data into the system? For instance, whenever they call and they enter their banner ID, ideally we'd like to pull, student records, what they're registered for, things like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you're wanting to basically pull information based on their student ID from the database that you have
Correct.
to the forefront. So yes. So that's exactly what CRM integration is all about, or database integration. So we use a host of protocols through web services, but for example, REST or RESTful services is a very popular API where we can dip into a database, or if you had like a SQL database, we do a DB connector where we can pull into that information based on the student ID or the caller ID information, pull that record to the forefront. If the student is calling in and wants to get some information through self-service, then we can also provide those hooks into our system so that our system can read into your database, pull that information from your database and read it back to the student.
Okay. Thank you.
Good question. Go ahead, Tracy.
Oh, okay. Any other questions about what you've seen there? So I would now want to go back into showing you what it looks like when a supervisor, when a call has been made and a supervisor wants to monitor what an agent is doing. I'm trying to make a call into the center so I can make one active here. Give me a second here. Maybe there's one active here already. Yeah, here's one. So when a supervisor can go into what we call our lunch supervisor dashboard, this is just another view into agents and teams. So they can see everyone that's either on the phone or part of the team that they are monitoring. So again, it's based on permission. So you can see all the agents, see them logged in. If you double click on the agent, it brings up an additional window where you can actually see if they're working, contacts handled. Again, you see the last 7 days and any type of information. Now to the right here, you have the force log out again. You also have what we call, if this is an auto agent. Look at this a second. Well, those are auto agents. No. So to the right here, you have what we call coaching and monitoring. So I can come in and I can monitor the agent from this window. I can also coach the agent, meaning a whisper in their ear. The agent, only the agent can hear you, not the student. So if you were listening to the call, they were on their own screen, or maybe they sent you a chat message and said, I need some information, you can actually come in and coach them via whisper in their ear. I can barge in if I like, meaning they're talking to the student, they want you to come in instead of transferring or conferencing the call, you can come in and barge in and be as a third party in that call. And then you can actually take over that call if needed. So meaning I'm going to take that call over from the agent. So that's just another way of getting that call to you as management, or if something is going on versus a transfer, you just take over the call. Any questions about that?
Mm-mm.
So the next thing I want to show you is what it looks like for what we call our for chat interaction. So the same window that you've seen a phone call come into, you actually see a chat come in. So I'm about to do an example of that coming through. Give me 1 second here. Let me get logged into an interface. So within here, I have now submitted a chat. It says new chat. I hit accept. It comes in, it shows me a historical conversation that has been had between, so these are auto messages that have went through. So depending on the website, if you have auto messages that they can type that automatically comes through, the agent will see that. Over to the right-hand side, you see what came through, and then here they can respond. So this is the chat interface. And again, if you go to the front, you see where they're actually on the chat. You have where you can transfer the chat, again, by choosing skills, depending on who's in the skill, if you need to transfer it. If I need to transfer it to a team, look up all the agents, see if they're available, working, what type of call they're on. You can actually see that as an agent. Any questions about any of that?
Go ahead.
Can you upload documents into the chat?
So yes, so you can build it that if they need to attach something and send it to you, then yes.
And also, can you turn the chat off and on? Because like we have a set time, like it's just 8 to 5.
You can set your hours of operation based on that.
And what about whenever they come on to the chat, do you ask for anything like an email? I guess that's what you can do with those questions. And then is that chat as far as analytics, as well as the conversation being sent to the person that's, you're speaking with, does it get emailed to them, or is that an option?
Yeah, so they can ask for a transcript of the actual the chat itself. You can have it on the end where you say request a transcript, and they'll get the transcript. Meaning you want a detail of the chat that they went through, meaning the student can get it.
And how do they do that?
It depends on your interface and how you set it up. All that is how you customize it.
Okay, but it is possible.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Since we are, the website for the students and access is 24 hours a day, but we are only here from 8 to 5. Do you have a voicemail platform or something that would respond to the students after hours? So it's just not waiting in queue, or just, they don't get any response from us until the next day?
Right. So the IVR, which is something I was going to go into, this is scripting that comes with the InContact ACD platform. So when you go through implementation, they work with you to understand what you're wanting as far as your call routing, the callbacks, after hours, what type of messaging. Then once they call in, if it's during that time period where no one is staffed, then they'll take that routing path. And if you want them to leave a voicemail, press 1 for voicemail, or automatically it goes into leave a voicemail, then that's the routing path it will take. But all that is configured in this application that you can now see on my screen.
Okay.
One of the nice things about the voicemails too is like if you are business day and someone, let's say you get 5 or 6 voicemails after hours, and then the next business morning your support agents come in, they log in, those voicemails will route just like a phone call to the first available agent. So that way, just like a voice call or an email or web chat, we take care of that voicemail and we provide you analytics behind it to say, this is when the voicemail came in, this is what the disposition was, and this is when it was handled.
And that's one at
Does
a
that make
time.
sense?
One at a time, though. Correct.
Correct. Well, it will queue voicemails just like it does phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
So as your agents log in, if they don't have a voice call that they need to handle, we'll route a voicemail to them.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And back to your question, so I'm using a site that we kind of developed just to help us send those chats. But see where it says request chat transcript?
Yes.
We do offer that. And so Survey, I want to talk to you about Survey. So if you were interested in Survey, We offer survey also, which every customer, it's called Echo, every customer has an opinion. And so for an example, you can prompt that after a chat or a phone call if you do an audio, if you want them to do a survey after that. So whether it's chat, email, voice, whatever it may be, we can prompt that survey. But just to give you an idea of what it looks like, this can be customized with your logo and your information. And then once they go into it, just showing you how you can ask questions based on the whether it's a chat or email, whether they're satisfied, offering up so many questions on it, and then submitting it. But this just gives you an idea of what In Contact has to offer. And then if you want to let them give,
Now, are you moving your mouse right now?
No, the screen should have a comment box on it now.
No.
Is that what you see?
We see
Oh,
customers.
you're stuck again.
Ugh. Customer service survey.
Yeah, you're back at the beginning. She's been going through the questions and showing you how to populate those.
Well, I do have a question as far as with the chat. Could I access the chat on my phone, like if I'm in a meeting or anything? Or do it have to be like on the computer that I'm able to chat back with an individual?
No. So are you saying as an agent or as a?
As
As an agent.
As an agent.
Can you access it from your phone?
Yeah.
Meaning, because when you're activating the Max agent, right, that's logged into your computer, which
Okay.
becomes your active flow of how you're doing call volume, and it's flowing through that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's designed for Windows environment. I think we've had some contact centers that use Apple and have successfully made that work, but it's really designed for PC. You might be able to get it to work on a tablet, but I wouldn't really recommend it.
Okay.
I'm trying to get back in. Bear with me. I apologize.
Oh, no problem.
No problem.
We got time. And by the way, I know Tracy's nearing the end of this first part of the presentation. If you all would like to take a health break kind of in between, we're more than happy to do that. Or we can keep rolling if you're having just a lot of fun.
Where y'all are in Texas, you said?
Yes, I'm in Austin and Tracy's in Dallas.
Gotcha.
And it rains one day, and then the wind blows the next, and then it's hot, and then it rains.
Oh, yeah.
And so